Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa. We've got a great Domain Sherpa review coming up today with Braden, Shane, and Drew. We recap some of the highlights from NamesCon Global, which just took place last week in Austin, Texas. Then we play the domain game with 8783.eth. Dropped.com, MotorCoach.com, Humble.org, and Pangolins.com. And then we get into the Namejet Get a Jet segment, sponsored by Namejet, and we talk about some domains coming up for auctions such as bokchoy.com, BetterResults.com, CustomHomes.net, and MyCupOfTea.com. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you could also watch the video version at DomainSherpa.com and on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. We now have all the past episodes there as well, so you can dig into the largest library of domain-related podcast content in the world for free. You can also check us out on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms as well. And as usual, huge shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains, with a special platform made for domain investors. All right, with that, it's now time to get into this episode of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. So let's go. What's up, Sherpa Network? Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. Jay On, and I am the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today's show is a Domain Sherpa review, where we get into the minds of successful domain investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become more successful domain name investors ourselves. These are the experts. There are 4 segments to a Domain Sherpa review. Segment 1 is the grand opening. That's where I intro the Sherpas. We do the AKA, see what's going on with them, talk about some related, unrelated things. We'll get into some stuff today, maybe talk a little bit about NamesCon, which just happened. Austin, Texas. We just got home from there. Yippee-ki-yay, all y'all. And then segment 2 is the domain game.
But if I wasn't there, did it really happen?
If the tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it. Yes, Drew, it happened. It was dope. Fun was had by all, even with the absence of you, which, you know, you were very missed. But let me finish my little intro.
Keep going.
By the way, I still run this, I might have to change this script a little bit. I literally do the same thing that like Seiger did back in the day. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not going to say next time about strategies and tactics. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
But that's the point. That is the point.
It is. It's why we're here. It's why we're here. All right.
Except that we go off the rails.
We're already off the rails. You guys don't even let me get through the beginning. And then we're already on.
See what I mean?
You know, we're now placating Drew's ego. Okay, hey, it's okay, Drew. Don't worry, you were missed. But you were. All love. All right, segment 2 is the domain game. That's what we hear about with the Sherpas.
Which Drew are we talking about? There's more than one Drew.
Oh, there are. There are a lot of Drew egos in the domain space. But I'm not.
What? There's more than one Drew?
Well, there's more than one Andrew. You know what I'm saying?
Drew Washington.
So. Drew. Oh, Drew Wash. Yeah.
Drew Wash.
Is his last name? It's not Washington. It's actually Wash, right? That's awesome.
That's his stage name.
Yo, I got a selfie with Drew Wash I talked to him for a couple minutes. I mean, first of all, he's one of the best when it comes to developing out domains. Super smart guy. Mad love to him. The fact that you called him Drew Washington,
nice.
like that's his sophisticated long name is amazing.
No, but for sure, I actually thought that was his name. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, man.
Are you guys actually sure that's not his name?
I mean, I'm like 99.
I know that
that's
his
his
handle
name
on Twitter is Drew. I know on Twitter is Drew Wash, but I was fairly sure his name was Drew Washington.
I mean, if it's not, he's
maybe
got
his
to
great grandfather short. Maybe his great grandfather
on
shortened
the
it
boat
on the way over, like when he got to.
Nah, they with a name like Wash or Washington, that shit didn't hit Ellis Island.
There's way too common a last name.
At Ellis Island, he would have had the TSA pre-check line with a name like Washington. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So
he wasn't staying with my grandparents.
Grandfather George, grandmother Martha.
Oh, he's like, oh, you please over here. We have a whole room of they basically gets concierge level at Ellis Island with a name like Washington.
We got another Washington.
I don't want to ride my grandfather's coattails. I'm changing it.
I'm changing it to we're going short. We're gonna call it.
We're
Wash.
going, or as they say out east, Warsh.
Or you could say Andrew Miller. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Miller is another Drew. You know, who's got
you know, Andrew Millington.
Andrew Millerton.
Millerington.
Andrew Millerton.
Oh, this is really going off the rails.
This is great.
Yeah. All right, come on, let's go. Let's get back. Let's get into some
segment
All right,
2.
thanks for
business.
coming, everyone. Without you, there is no us.
Let's go with
If
that.
we keep this up, there won't be any you.
It's all us right now.
All right.
Yeah, and if we keep going, there will be no you. Sorry.
Segment 2 is the domain game. That's where we hear about what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Everybody guesses. We keep score. We give out some swag to the winner. We've given out swag. I think everybody here on the call officially has swag in their closet now. So that is happening, and we're doing that. And then segment 3, Namejet and a Jet, sponsored by our friends at Namejet, where we review a list of domains coming up for auction on Namejet. Shane's got the shirt. We rocking double Namejet. It's a double rainbow, double Namejet today.
They keep the lights on at both houses.
Oh, let's go. That's right.
Yeah.
Man, now I'm gonna go off on another tangent. But hey,
don't do it.
No,
Fight it.
If
No,
it's about
swallow
Namejet,
it.
you got to. If it's Namejet, you got to do it.
you know what? I'll wait. All right, segment 4 is grand closing. If there's anything we haven't already discussed, what's going on in the domain space, looking at the market trends, current events, allowing the guests to mention, promote anything they want to talk about that we haven't already discussed. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and officially introduce the Sherpas. To my right, I got my boy Shane Cultra, a.k.a. Sugar Shane, a.k.a. Honey Shane, a.k.a. Mike Rowe, a.k.a. Blame It on the Shane, a.k.a. House of Shane, a.k.a. The Cultivator, a.k.a. The Blue Oyster Cultra, a.k.a. Culture Personality, a.k.a. Culture Club, a.k.a. Doing It for the Cultra. Let's go.
Yo, how'd you do that with the lights? How'd you do that?
Billy, when in the edit, you got to get like the techno music going during Shane's intro when he's got the lights bumping.
No, that's my ring light has a change on it. I thought, let's see if we can switch this up. That was not planned, but it's gonna happen again.
Oh, you gotta love it,
That was
man. When it
fun.
works.
We do it for the football
And it
games
worked.
now. I figure we can do it for
When
the
it
intro.
works. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Yeah. So, so
beautiful.
Shane, the
Just
comment
beautiful.
when I was about to go off on the tangent before, I was going to talk about your daily list, man. I mean, you guys still publishing those daily? Is that still happening every day?
13
We know who
years.
doesn't read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read them, but I'm the one that buys the domain, so I guess I'm the only one that matters.
There's only 550 buyers left. So
Every day. But no, hey, look, I'll tell you, Billy buys Billy's got a little domain portfolio. He will tell you. See, you weren't in NamesCon either, so you didn't get to meet him in person, but he would have told you that he does follow your list, and he has bought names off the list. And
there's still 1,000 people every day that come and read the list, whether they stay for a second or a minute or the beginning or just to find one name. Yeah, I mean, I look through the list every day anyway, right? So I'm going through the list. Why not just keep track and write down what I'm doing? And same with Josh and now Sean and Travis is going to start writing as well. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time. So we're getting pretty good at picking out names that have some value. Although, man, the list is getting deep. Like names with 2 and 3 bids is getting into the 200 names in the morning already. A lot of action going on.
Well, I go through some of that same process on Namejet when we're picking the names for the show. And there's a lot to weed through. So when you say Sean who?
Sean Markey. So the SEO specialist.
Yeah, of course, Sean. Okay,
he
I
writes
didn't
2
realize.
days a week. And same thing, he's already going through it, but he's got a different angle. He's looking for names that those names you see, like, why is that going for $22,000? He knows.
Yep.
He knows why. And he's helped me
and-
get my names to help build my portfolio, like my Hawaii names. He's the one who found the old travel site from Hawaii and said, I know you've got the bigisland.com, but bigisland.org was the official state travel site that they abandoned. You need to take that, bring everything over to that. And it made a huge difference. It went from like 100 visitors a day to 1,000 instantly by getting all those backlinks and bringing them forward. SEO is important. It's as big as anything going on. So he's just a specialist at that. And I will help promote. He's got a company that does that for a living that you can hire him. And anybody who doesn't know SEO will find out quickly that
I just want to take credit.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to take a little bit of credit that I am the one that pushed Sean on.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, yes. You're awesome, Drew.
I did a deal. Well,
He brought him to
I know, he
NamesCon,
did.
No doubt.
And look, Mad Love,
100%.
that's why when you
We
mentioned
put
Sean, I
Sean
wanted to confirm for everybody who Sean was, because I think people know Josh. Travis has been around forever.
Sean's good people.
And he's done great work. I mean, what was really neat too.
He he used to have a cannabis website that was performing really well, and I actually sold that website for him, which is how I met him in the first place. And then we actually represented the buyer in that transaction. And then, as we were doing the due diligence with the client on the website, the client was really, they're really one of the top SEO firms in the world. And they were like, this guy did great work. And so when the deal was all over, I was like, yo, can you give me a hand with what I've got going on? And so he did some work with us. And then we were kind of, for a minute, trying to do similar to what he's doing with you through our newsletter, but our newsletter was only going out once a week. And so it didn't really make sense. And it was the wrong audience. So,
he's doing, and I'll tell this story.
I'm glad that you guys are.
How I met him is at NamesCon. I mean, I knew him through your newsletter, of course, that he was doing, but at NamesCon, Sean's super quiet. Like he just doesn't talk a lot. And we were all standing in a circle. Introvert. And I just saw him standing there. So I remember being at NamesCon and being that guy. I mean, as talkative as I am now, when nobody, it's really hard to just talk. I didn't have any experience. I had nothing to talk about even. So anyway, I saw Sean there and I just brought him into the conversation. And he pulled me aside later and said he truly appreciated me doing that he's not a talker, and to have someone bring him into the conversation and meet people was something that he appreciated. It's something I'll remember the rest of my life. And I do that constantly now. So when I talk about NamesCon or a conference or something, and you see that person that's just standing there, bring them in, ask them a question, have them in, or somehow just get them into the conversation. And for me, that made me a lifelong friend just from that little move. So that's my story behind it. And I think that's as good as anything I've ever had as far as a lesson. Sean taught me that lesson more than even SEO. So isn't that a beautiful story? If you guys want to cry and cut right
that
here.
It is a beautiful story.
That was touching, So also known as Sean Markington.
Exactly.
But, yeah, and didn't he also did the site when COVID popped off? He did the Flatten the Curve site, right? And that was another thing.
Yeah.
Super great one. Yeah, that was absolutely good.
I don't know
the Sean Markey show has
been
wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the Sean Markey show.
So
welcome to the Sean Markey show.
Are we good to keep it moving?
Yeah,
let's go.
But yeah, hey, but for the audience's benefit, for those who don't know, where do you find the list, Shane? Where's it at? How do I
DSAD.com.
DSAD.com.
Or Domain Shane will get you there too. DomainShane.com, but DSAD. Either one.
Is there a way I get it into my inbox? What's up, man? How do I set
you can subscribe to it, but we haven't set up like a newsletter in a while. We did, but we haven't. That's a good point. We need to do a better job of that But I want you to come to the site because a newsletter I guess it's easier.
I'm just trying to get people squared away on their routine.
Your conversion rate will be way higher on a newsletter.
That is true. Yeah, it's 100%.
Put it in the inbox, son. All right, here we go. All right, let's keep it moving down. To my lower right, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Rosner, a.k.a. Morpheus, a.k.a. the Dirk Diggler of digital assets, a.k.a. the sniper, Bob Lee Swagger, a.k.a. Drew. Drew got what I need, a.k.a. every Rosner has its thorn, a.k.a. never gonna give Drew up. The Rick Roll of the shit show. Let's go. What's up, man?
Shit show indeed. Shit show indeed.
Rick Roll of the shit show. Let's go. Which all rhymes, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
Are we still recording? Do people want this?
It's okay. What we will do, we will tell people, hey, go to, minute whatever when that's when you start talking about domains for real.
Just skip the first hour.
Hey, man, it's been a minute. Look, we've been away. Drew's been away. We had NamesCon, like all of this kind of stuff. We got the band back together, like this is, This
is the entertainment section of the information section.
This is what it is. This is infotainment. It's infotainment. All right, Drew, I'm going to keep it moving unless you want to keep talking about something.
We lost Drew. He look at his eyes.
Frozen.
He's reading.
He's like, I just bought a name.
Sorry, didn't mean to wake you.
No. I just, anyways.
Just tell me which one so I can update the, I'll update the inventory. You know what I'm saying? No, he's got something else. Oh, he wants to talk about something.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to take somebody's head.
You want to pause the recording so we could, anyway. All right.
No, all good. Keep it going.
All right. Let's keep it moving. Below me, finally, last but certainly not least, we got my boy, Braden Pollock, AKA Tony Stark, AKA Benjamin Button, AKA Eat, Bray, Love, AKA Braden Statham, AKA Bradenton Beach, AKA Braden Pollockton, the Archduke of Calabasas.
Bradenton Beach.
What does it do? Braden Pollockton, the Archduke of Calabasas. Welcome.
I don't even live in Calabasas, but that's cool.
It's close enough, man. It's close enough. You know what I'm saying? Man?
Doesn't mean you're not the Duke there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to live.
Every
You're
time I
carpet
drive through
bagging. You're carpet bagging. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying?
And it's hard to get Calabasas is easy to rhyme with. So
it just sounds cool. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. And it's not that your domain is worthless. It's just that it's worth less. Let's go. Those are the wise words of the one and only Braden Pollockton. But yeah, man, what's happening, dude? I mean, I just hung out with you in person, which was awesome, by the way.
That's true.
A lot of fun was had by all. So, all right, NamesCon, that's what we were just talking about. Let's talk a little bit about that before we get into the domain game. But we just came off the conference. I think it was a big success. It had been
as somebody that wasn't there, or I guess Shane, you weren't there either.
yeah.
What? Well, the opinion of these guys doesn't really matter. I was just kind of looking for Shane.
I like the idea that we had two non-attendees and two attendees. That's kind of how I planned this. So, but go ahead.
Did either of you walk away with? I mean, both of you have been to a lot of domain conferences. Did you walk away with anything new? Was there anything that you felt like you learned, or that a new person that was there that like had something to say that you thought was enlightening, or was there anything that was like stood out to you? Just one thing.
Well, I thought what was interesting was that there was a lot of newbies. I mean, I don't know the percentage, but at the opening intro, it was asked, who's new, who's never been here before, and probably 40% of the hands went up. It was a big number. I mean, I'm guessing at 40%, but it was a big number. And so I met a lot of new people.
I'd love to be able to dig into that more and understand, where did they come from, why, what brought them in.
I'm going to say Clubhouse, because a lot of these people I had met on Clubhouse before, and they knew each other from Clubhouse.
Interesting.
Yep. So, to that point, yeah, agreed. I was in the room with that. I think it was, a great event. I think they did a fantastic job. Braden and I were both MOCs. I was on stage 1. He was on stage 2. All good. Somebody had to be on stage 2, I guess, the smaller stage.
Yeah, it's got to be a B team.
Somebody's got, there's got to be a JV team. I get it.
Farm team in case Braden gets sick.
Cleanup crew.
But no, we need a deep bench. You know what I'm saying? But, I thought it was great. It was 942 days from the last in-person conference, which was also Austin, Texas, and that was right in the throes. That was the one, Drew, you didn't make it to. You were supposed to be the keynote, but that was when COVID had just basically hit, or it was on the cusp. So even that was like a weird vibe.
But here in the U.S., we're like, what COVID?
Yeah, until everyone went home sick.
No, but I guess it had. I don't know if it had hit. No, it hadn't really hit yet. It was. I think at that point it was really pretty isolated to just China. That was like, because I remember it was January 18th was the day that I called up Zoran. I was like, yo, I'm not coming.
Yeah. And
he was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So almost 1,000 days. And, I said this a lot at the conference. In our personal lives, we kind of, we've gotten over a lot of the COVID stuff. We're back in person with our family, our friends, all that stuff. But for a lot of us in the domain space, especially those of us that are remote or distributed, we have not been in person with a lot of these, we haven't seen these people. Mm-hmm. We haven't professionally been, sort of locked in a room with people, like actually hanging out and communicating and vibing and all that stuff. So, I thought that was great. I think there was definitely, sort of almost like a sigh of relief. People like, oh, we're finally back. So I think there was a lot of that. I thought the venue was great. We've seen conferences where the venues are too big for the amount of people. We don't bring the thousands of people that home shows and, these big Vegas conferences bring. I
think that the first or second year of NamesCon, when it was still Richard Lau's show, I think we got 2,000 or like 1,500 people or something once.
I think it was the first show, and it was like 1,400.
Yeah.
Well, when it was popping, because then
which was like more than double the record of any previous show, like 650 or something. But it's like The record before
this
that,
one was in that range.
traffic.
This one, it was in the 600 range, is my understanding. You know,
No, it was like 750. It was.
Nice.
It was, yeah, it was a good.
That's a good number. That's a lot of heads.
Well, and the venue was really good for it. You know, it was pretty well contained. Like the exhibitor.
It wasn't the Omni. Was it an Omni?
It was.
Again?
Yep, the Omni in downtown Austin. And again, everything was really accessible. There was a good spot. You know, you had the coffee place, you had the bar, you had the exhibitor hall, and then you had the rooms. Like it was really well done the way that it was. Now, I personally like Vegas as a location better than Austin. I think it just provides a little bit more sort of a vibe and stuff. You know, and I'm not a big, like, you know, these guys went the one night and did the armadillo racing and, you know, sat on a steer with a cowboy hat on. That shit has zero appeal to me, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? No offense to the, you know,
honestly, you're not that flexible. So that's probably
exactly. I got a bad back, man. I can't full steer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will say though, you know, but it was just having the parties, the Frank Schilling thing, like all that stuff. It was just, you know, it was great. So super positive event. I would say that now, if you want my comment on what is a sort of my takeaway from a domain industry perspective, I thought that the interest. That's so messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know, can we get through the beginning without making me feel a certain way?
I'm gonna send you a sympathy card after I get done with it. Sorry for your loss.
Yo, that was rough. I don't even know. Billy, cut that out and make me sound cool, please. Whatever that means. You know
There's no digital editing that can be done.
There's nothing. He's like, yo, bro, I'm so sorry. There's really nothing I could do. I could just shut the whole show down. But anyway, it's that the interest in the blockchain domain stuff, you know, was heavy. And but it didn't feel like, okay, when we've been in other conferences where, you know, they sort of try to shoehorn in some stuff that's a little bit like, you know, doesn't belong. You know what I mean? But the blockchain stuff was super like, again, it felt like a natural part of this. The panels, that actually was all happening on the other stage. There was also, I guess, a pretty spicy, you know, panel that involved Brad Cam from
Were you moderating that, Braden?
Yeah, Braden was in the room for that one.
Nope.
Oh, you were?
Not.
Oh, you.
That's why it was so spicy. There's no.
The footage is available online because you have.
Thorin was actually moderating that panel.
Oh, okay.
He's
that's
handshake all the way, though, right?
That's a wolf in the hen house right there. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, that's not.
It's like no wonder Brad got attacked by all the handshake people, and Soren's sitting back. He's like, no, slow down. You know, like it's okay. Go ahead.
If I was moderating, I would have shut that down in a second.
Well, because I think Brad even said at one point, he's like, "Is there a moderator here? Like, what's going on?" And Soren's like, Is there?
Right. He was going off the corner.
But I think that those are important conversations, and obviously everyone, with a lot of skin in the game there. But there was they also brought in the conversation around what's ICANN's take on a lot of this stuff, because now ICANN's actually starting to wake up to this shit. Because I've said this, I had conversations with some policy people going back a few years, including James Bledel from GoDaddy, who's one of the smartest guys in the space. And even at that time, he was kind of like, yeah, we're really not that, it's not something we're really talking about, as far as like the with handshake and that and whatnot. Now, this was years ago. Now it's very much on the radar, right?
Was Kirkendall there?
No.
But yeah, so I would say that was, I think, an interesting development, and we saw some people that came in. This goes to what Braden was saying, you did see newbies and people that came from Clubhouse, like Ish Millie, who was part of a lot of that Clubhouse stuff, was there in the building. And, and I appreciate Ish Millie. I know, well, it's funny because like, if you remember some of those early Clubhouse rooms, it would get a little spicy in there too, because,
I remember.
Well, I know, because you were in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was in there trying to throw everybody a life preserver. And, Ish Millie was like, nah, y'all old heads. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, let me tell you a little something about what I know.
Yeah.
And anyways, he actually,
he came around.
To his credit, he came around and he personally apologized to me. And
Drew makes it about the apology.
Wanted to learn.
Yeah, well, that's my point, and that's why I even said that when I posted my selfie with him, because I think you got to give credit to him and everybody else that said, "Hey, look, this is interesting, right?" They recognize that there's something here with domains. Now, back then, there was a different vibe. There, club doc, the .club domains, and there was a whole thing, and you had a lot of people, and there was it was COVID. It was just different times. There was sort of this exuberance around that stuff, which we knew as seasoned veterans, like, hey, we've seen this movie before. Like, y'all people who are just coming into the space thinking this .club domain that you're getting is going to be, your ticket to generational wealth. Like, you need to slow down a little bit and learn something.
Those are words they use all the time.
Which is also why, if you remember, we were like, look, we don't have any skin in the game. You guys want to buy a bunch of .club domains?
I got skin in the game. I got a whole bunch of .club domains. I got I.club. I got AI.club.
Yeah,
I got 21.club.
I was going to say we.club.
I got I sold we.club.
Yeah.
I got all kinds. I got an amazing .club portfolio. But I'll be the first one to tell you that .club is not leading you to fucking generational wealth. That ain't happening.
And if you remember, we were saying, look, like, if you guys are going to get educated, talk to Michael Sager, the #1 educator in the space. If you remember, I remember literally, I felt like, we're like bringing him into these rooms saying, hey guys, like, it's important if you've got domain folks and you've got new folks that, they understand sort of the landscape here. And, but again, people don't know what they don't know. And everybody gets excited, especially with the specter.
We don't need to rehash this.
Let me finish my thought. And all I'm going to say is, and a big shout out to Ish, because again, he came in, built a big audience. Like, he's a dynamic dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his jam. Very good at that. And, and he's on now in the, he's got Bored Apes. He's, like in, fucking around with ENS stuff. But, like you could tell there's a real,
he's
like
one of the partners in the .hip hop.
He's really trying to learn and figure out what's good and figure out where those angles are. And it's like, and that's how you continue to evolve. And credit to him. I hope he's, continues to do so and becomes an important part of the industry. You know what I mean? We need that. 100%. We need people that, can bring people in and can help people learn and guide people just like we do, Sherpa people through the whole shit. So anyway, it was all good. I think, but Daniel Got Hits was there, you know what I'm saying? Representing the ENS domains. And so it was dope meeting him in person. And so that, just to piggyback off of Braden, I thought that was really cool. A lot of new blood, people just
the new blood. Was it young people mostly?
It was kind of a mix. You know what I mean? I don't think it was necessarily young people as much as it was new people. So it wasn't like just and I saw the same thing when I was in Ape Fest. I was also surprised when I was at Ape Fest, the range of people. I expected it was going to be all young kids, and they were like adult, like middle-aged women wearing like, the Bobby Hundreds BAYC shit from like back in a minute, you know what I mean? And you're like, okay, cool. Like, this is a really interesting, sort of mix of people. And I think we saw some of the same thing with the domains stuff. So anyway, big shout out to NamesCon, Zoran and the whole team. They really did a good job. It was solid. So, so that's what's up. Any further thoughts before we move into the domain game?
I thought
I was just
glad to be around everybody again after 2.5 years.
And I sincerely miss. For me, it's been 4 years. Really, it's been 4 years since I've been at a domain conference and seen y'all in person. And that's pretty messed up. That's a long time. So anyways, I sincerely FOMO'd seeing everybody's pictures. I was FOMOing and I'm sad that I wasn't there. But I had family commitments that I had to attend to. But just on the domain conference note, I got a note today from ICA that they are putting on the Internet Commerce Association show in Vegas I believe it was January 20 something. It's like 21 to the 24th, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
22nd, 24th.
Okay. 22nd to the 24th in Vegas. So I do intend to attend that. I gotta, sort out what's going on in life. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that. And that is only going to be available to people who are members of the Internet Commerce Association. So I'm sure you probably heard about them. If you don't already know about them, but if you are not a member, go be a member, because that'll be a good time. And I'm going to try my damnedest to make it there because I want to see y'all. So anyways, shout out ICA and that domain conference in January.
Yeah, the ICA supporting domain investors and, so much of what we do. And
these are the only dudes out there that are protecting our rights, right? Cumulatively, we've all got a lot of incredibly valuable domain assets. And the only thing standing between those assets and a total loss is the ICA protecting the rights of domain investors.
Basically,
domain owners.
Camilla, Nat, and Zach standing like the Avengers against like the horde of,
the horde of trademark lobbyists and
the IP lobby is pretty intense.
IP lobbies.
And then some of these the changes happening and some of the ICANN stuff, you can get renewal fees. There's literally just so much that these guys are fighting for when it comes to our interests. And, so that's the squad. So everybody please support. The other event that's happening between now and then, there's the ICANN registry summit meeting in LA in November. Is also another one that should be pretty good. So, we might make it out there as well. So, but yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. So that's what's coming up on the calendar.
Bring one of those, neck pillows, so you can fall asleep.
No, those are more like, I'm telling you, they'll end up being more like a NamesCon. It won't be all policy. It's not all policy stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a reason why I'm here and not there, right? It's just like, I've tried to sit through those, and credit to the folks that sit and slog through those.
But out in the lobbies where all the investors are hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's get into some domains.
Last point, and then the next NamesCon, we might as well mention this, is probably going to be in the spring back in Austin. We were talking about that a bit, so that'll also become. We'll get more information on that as they figure out the plan.
Why Austin?
I think that's the deal they've got with the hotel.
I can't even get a direct flight to Austin.
Austin is not confirmed, and they do not have a contract with the Omni.
Good. I hope it's not in Austin. I hope it's somewhere cool.
Yeah, they're also talking about doing either Europe or Australia.
Ooh, that would be cool. So
maybe we should go to Portugal again. Everybody loved Portugal. I'll throw another party.
Portugal was awesome. That was a lot of fun. All right. Well, we'll see. All right. Well, hey guys.
Everybody loved Portugal.
All right. Well, you know what?
Speaking of which, Elliot was here during that. Elliot and his family, Elliot Silver, domaininvesting.com, was over here in Portugal with his family on vacation. And I went out and had some lunch with them. And it was great to catch up with him. That's the only domain investor I've seen other than Yanni and a couple of my boys over here. But it was the only domain investor from across the pond that I've seen in 4 years.
Well,
when did we get together last? When were you out here?
I was trying to think about that. I don't think
that was that long ago.
Basically, it was right before I moved to Portugal. So
it was before
that
Portugal.
Was 2018. That was 2018.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's start the show.
Let's go.
Let's get into the show. All right. The domain game. Shane, what do you got? You got to buy or a sell?
So I've got, I told you this earlier. I've actually been doing some ENS stuff. So we'll have a little bit of lesson on ENS. So I'm back in the numerics, baby. 8783.eth.
87.
What does that go for? What does that purchase cost?
All right. 8783.eth.
Yeah. 4-number.eth.
Don't look it up, Drew. Hands up, man. Look.
I'm not looking it up. I wouldn't even know how to look it up.
The crazy part is
there a way to look that
quickly.
Up? Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, hello. Never mind.
So what I can tell you,
I'm still coming off of summer.
Is it on the blockchaining team?
Yeah.
Is it on the square chain? So hey, Drew and I were actually talking about this morning because I've been seeing that trend wise, like those numbers are starting to move now. The volume is pretty noticeable, and the prices are going up.
1,000 ETH yesterday.
Prices are going up. I think there's really something. It's interesting because, it's like out of all the NFTs, for us as domain folks, it's like .eth domains. I mean, that's familiar to us. It's just
the perfect
is there a
mix
market
for someone like myself?
Is there a market to continue to support it? And I think that like when we talked with Daniel about the 1,000, the 999 and all that stuff and the 100Ks and will there continue to be, people that are going to want to continue to buy and sell into these? But it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think there's utility, there's the flex, there's the ability to use these as addresses. There's only so many of them. We've got more people investing in NFTs and crypto, obviously, than domain names. And it's like, I don't know. I think and for what it's worth, at the domain auction, shout out to Monty and the team and Scott for right at the dot. Didn't want a Rick's 4-character numerics 1961 sell for 110,000. Didn't one of those hit reserve?
I didn't see. I was
You wanna-
bidding on 1969, but I didn't see what it went for, or it didn't move.
I think it did. So, and so I think it's like, all right, numerics, like, so anyway, all right. 8783 Drew, what do you think? Are we quoting in dollars or ETH? What are we doing?
I'm going to translate both, but let's do ETH, and then I'll talk about that. Let's do ETH.
I am so far removed.
That's why I brought it up.
From the last 2 months. I don't know. I haven't seen a single transaction. I don't remember what they were trading for before the summer. I'm going to say
0 is what they were trading for before.
They
They were hand registered in the last 4 months.
I don't know. I'm going to say like 2 ETH.
Okay.
1.5 ETH. I'm going to say 1.5 ETH.
All right.
How much is ETH? I don't even know how much ETH is now.
ETH
About
is currently
1650,
1675, something like that.
Yeah.
That hurts.
It's moving up too.
This is why I don't look it up.
So,
It hurts.
Well, it depends what you bought it at, right?
I was going to say, not at $100 ETH, it doesn't.
A lot more than that.
All right. So what do you think? Drew thinks 1.5 ETH.
Jesus, I'll go 2.
All right. And then Shane, so when did you buy it?
Yesterday morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm going to take the over.
Oh, it was a buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been.
Doesn't really matter in the end because this is such a liquid market that whether it's a buy or a sell is almost irrelevant.
Well, true. Oh, that's a fair point.
The only thing that really matters is timing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I knew he said he bought it, so I was just curious when he bought it because I've been following it a bit, and this is a good one. I like this one. I think this is the 8783. Those are good numbers.
Good. I love the arbitrary.
We're back. We're back, baby. We back with digits, baby. We back. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was, and it's so funny because I'm telling you, just the other a week and a half ago, I'm like, man, should I cop a couple? Is it time? I'm
gonna catch some heat. I'm gonna catch a lot of heat from the handshake community for this, but look, I'm gonna pound my chest. I was one of the first people in the world into ENS domains. I was one of the first people into Handshake, and I was one of the first people into Unstoppable Domains. I was a seed round investor in Unstoppable Domains. I'm an advisor on Unstoppable Domains. So I've been in this thing there's very few people on the planet that have more deep exposure into this, Web3 domain space than myself. But when I listen to the clip of the Handshake people making arguments to Unstoppable Domains, all I heard was rainbows and butterflies and rainbows and butterflies. And it brought me right back to, some people who I will not name that, were saying the same kind of shit in the midterm days, let's say 6-8 months into the NFT run, the 1 year, bull run. And, the people are like, oh, but that's not in the essence of the community. And then it's like, man, you guys have never run a business before. You've never done business. You guys are talking about shit that's like rainbows and butterflies. And it's like, no, business is about get your guns, get your knives, and the last man standing wins. Like, end of story. And they're like, oh, man, but you're suing. And it's like, there's market confusion. And there's a couple ways to solve it. And you're going to get kneecapped because you're out here talking about rainbows and butterflies. And this dude's out here talking about we're going to do business and we're $1 billion company. It's like, who do you think's going to win? Shut up about your rainbows and butterflies and feel good feelings and community. It's like, shut up. That's not what gets business done.
It's called toxic positivity.
I got to just get that. You're toxic. God, you should copyright that. Toxic positivity. That's actually precisely, I couldn't have said it better. Toxic positivity.
You hear that, everyone? You hear that? I got props.
That's actually a real term that we know.
Drew says Drew liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. But I used it really well timing wise.
Toxic
I threw it out the right time.
I know when to use it.
Is a precise way to describe the infliction that has gotten hold of the whole Web3 world. Like, look, I'm as much of a fan as anybody, but I'm also a realist. And I also know more than most of these people. And it's like, you guys just don't get it.
And he's the most humble.
Freaking get it.
The most humble.
I'm working on the humble part.
Toxic humility.
Hey, toxic humility. Toxic humility.
Speaking of which, I just sold humble.org. Actually, I just sold
There we go.
humble.org.
All right. So a couple of things. First of all, Shane,
Shit didn't belong with me. You know what I mean?
Drew said 1.5. Braden said 2. Knowing what they've been trading for in the last week and change, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take the over. So I'm gonna say 2.1. Gonna be
listen to you. The guy that's supposed to be the arbitrator.
No, but I know, but
he's gonna play the game.
They're trading more at like, in that 2.1, 2.2. They're up in the 2.5, 2.6. So
so maybe you should pick
he's
that.
literally looking at the activity chart on OpenSea.
No.
You can
But
see it in his eyes.
But I've been
the
following.
reflection.
No, I can show you. I'll share my screen. I don't have OpenSea.
I see.
So
I see the galleon, the logo of the galleon from OpenSea. I see it in your pupil.
It's not on. I don't have it on. I don't have it up. But anyway, so 2.1.
Okay. All right.
I didn't say 2.01. I mean, I could have gone like I'm at least giving it a little bit of a window. You know what I mean?
That's not much of a window.
Let me fill everybody in. If you want to see the market, they created an incredible tool at ens.vision.
Yeah.
You can see every name. You can go to every, like the 100,000 club, the 10,000 club, female names, male names. You can divide it. You know, the hardest part of ENS is there's billions of names curated. Can you imagine if you could go and buy curated sections or go even on just domains? It's, to have tools like that already in ENS is fantastic. So,
well, and here's the other thing. Wait. And here's the other thing. A 24/7 available marketplace, right? The fact that the names, like right now, how many domains? I mean, we have a whole business based around domain acquisitions because people don't know where to go get the names that they want, right? And obviously they're not. And how are they available? Are they not available? This, that, and the other thing. It's like but with ENS domains, you can always put any offer on any name that the owner is more is going to see, or at least has a much better chance of seeing. It's just so much.
And
more
they got tools that you can
transparent.
text the owner. So if the owner happens to go on there and connect their wallet, they can see offers and like not verbal offers versus.
This is why I really like, and I'm telling you, ENS to me, out of all of them, like now there's a whole conversation to be had around .eth. Doesn't ICANN have that set aside? Is it Ethiopia, or what's the deal with the dot?
No, that's ET.
Oh, so it isn't that. All right. So then is it not?
Somebody made that shit
wait,
up.
Hold on.
And
Then
people
what are we going to give to the aliens?
What's that? Oh,
he's trying to make a joke. Billy, just cut that shit so he doesn't.
Oh, ET, phone home.
Yeah, all the millennials are like,
but
what
Ethiopia is about to switch that shit up.
So that's ET. So then that was a lie from the internet. All right, great.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said that to me once, and I was like, wait.
Well, I was going to say, what country
codes
code?
Are 2 character, right?
Exactly. That's what I thought was weird about it too. I literally just saw a tweet about it like yesterday. So as far as ICANN and .eth, it's just never been allocated.
But it probably will never be allowed, simply because, like, for example, you can't have nobody could go out and get .usa because there's a .us. Nobody can get, you can't get, .Germany or you can't get .deh, right?
Yep.
Because of the potential for collision. So it probably will not be allowed, but I don't know that that's written in stone.
So that's all another but I think out of all the the ENS stuff, to me, I just think has the most short-term, at least, value and very possibly long-term. But go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, so I bought it.
Well, it has the most liquidity.
Yeah, most liquidity.
And the most registrations.
Oh, by far. I mean, 1,000 ETH done yesterday.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, by registrations it is. Yeah, I think it just surpassed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So 2.18 was what I bought that one for.
Jesus.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So I bought a bunch of four number for 0.4 and for 1. But here's the key. I bought it at ETH at 16.17. And yesterday the floor crossed 3 ETH. So I could have literally sold it in a couple hours for profit. And I did sell a couple floor profit that I picked up early on. You could have hand registered these 4 months ago for 0.04 ETH, as many as you wanted. You could have gotten 1,000 of them.
Think about that. And when it crosses 4 ETH, when that happens, so then you're going to have this like 1,000x in like however many months, right? Yeah. Not to mention a little bit of an increase in ETH in the meantime too, which is nice. And then, and everyone's talking about how there's no opportunities and everything's dead. I mean, that's what's crazy is like especially in this space, there's opportunity left and right. How do you recognize it? I'm saying this as somebody that registered 0 of the 4, the 4 ends, right? And I have a few .eth domains, but not like nothing really. And like, but yeah, I mean, it's
I
crazy.
registered. 4 months ago when everything was starting to die, I registered 611 for 3 ETH, sold it for 18.88 in 10 days. ETH. Flipped it over to numerics, which I'm flipping now. I mean, I'm going to make $100,000 in .eth during no opportunity. I'm not buying Ute, and I'm not buying like monkey picture. Well, I shouldn't say monkey pictures, but I'm not buying silly pictures. I'm in where the market's at. Like there's always a market. It doesn't matter what.
Look at the volume. The volume is what is to me what really is interesting, and that's why I brought up even talking to Drew about it this morning. Literally, this was a conversation we were having this morning where I'm like, dude, numeric.eth domains, like
it's a market. You guys argue about why it's valuable. You argue about the utility. I'm just going to sit back here and watch the numbers and look for the angles. I also know we know numerics. Like I know patterns. Like. If it's going to be a wallet address, what's the easiest to remember? Repeating numbers. Like that's the gold. Stay away from the zeros and the ones because it's a terrible wallet address. Like if you're really going to use it for a wallet address, do you want 0? And I said this last show. Do you want 0 and O to be in your wallet? Shit, no. Like people are going to confuse and steal your shit all day. L and 1, same
8783 is a great one. Think about it. It's like as if it's a phone number. Back in the day, think about it. When we were kids, you only knew the phone numbers of your best friends because those were the ones you had memorized, right? Like, and that's how you knew you were tight with somebody or it was a girl that you really liked because you actually had a fucking phone number memorized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in this case, when we're talking about these wallet IDs that are impossible to memorize unless you're Vitalik himself. And it's like, and now you're breaking it down to, I'm at 8783.eth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you need to send me that 8783. Boom.
And I've got 8877, but even more valuable is your name. Like
that's cool.
8877 is a nice easy one, but imagine Shane.eth and Drew.eth and Braden.eth.
Braden has Braden.eth.
See, that's $100,000 name. Like
I do.
The more, those are the words you want, those beautiful one word. I went with Sugar Shane because I think that's easy. It's not Shane, but Sugar Shane you're going to remember. You're not going to forget that if
something
I
like
give
an
that
email
to you.
address. You know what I mean? And it's like,
And of course I have my name. But here's what I don't like, and here's where we're going to have a problem, and we'll move on. Is a guy reads my bio from me selling the honey the other day and goes to my website and registers countryarborsnursery.eth and then offers it to me for sale. That's such bullshit. Like,
but that's
nobody in the
people
world.
People been doing that in .com forever, man. What are you talking about? Like that's
but I mean, it's just.
And it's always been a dick move.
Yeah,
it's always been a dick. It's always been a dick move.
It's not like you registered Country Arbors because there's lots of people that have Country Arbors or Country or Arbors.
Yo, shout out goodnames.eth because that dude did the same thing, but he actually just after we had Daniel got kicks on the show. Daniel hit him up because, at my request and was like, yo, what's good? You got, Andrew's names, all these things. And dude kicked him over. No questions asked. No nothing. Just dropped it like it's hot.
If that guy would have done that, there would have been a bottle of honey sitting in his mailbox in 2 days.
Yeah.
Something kind of, I would have remembered those gestures because it would have paid many times over.
With a couple extra ghost peppers in it.
Exactly. Those are the people you remember that do you right, and and that'll lead them to other things. Because I'm not going to say we have influence, but we definitely know people. And if somebody helps us out and we can help them out, we're absolutely going to do it. But that shit move, like again, if it's a general term, I get it. But all he kept saying is, "You're late, bro." Late to what? Like who else wants that in the whole world but me? Like that's our zero. Purpose to anybody else in the entire world. Maybe my dad. You want to get me and my dad in a bidding war?
Oh shit! All right. Well, look. That's again. We're at the point where we can have entire shows dedicated to talking about ENS domains. But
it's a new domain market. You got to be. We got to pay attention.
It's interesting, man. It's interesting. All right, Drew. Let's keep it moving. So it's 1-0 me. Feeling pretty good about my lead. Drew, what do you got? Unfortunately, you're probably going to name a name I already know, so then I'm going to be...
All right. MotorCoach.com.
MotorCoach.com. Buy or sell?
buy. Or you want to do humble.org as a sale? Since I already said I sold it.
Yeah, well, let's do humble.org.
Do you know MotorCoach? You know?
I don't know MotorCoach.
Yeah, you know.
Humble, I think I know. MotorCoach, I actually don't. I mean, I could look it up.
You're motor coaching.
Well, don't
Motor
look it
coaching,
up.
son of a bitch.
Now, if we're gonna play it, don't look it up.
Yeah. It's, I could look it up. Like,
I don't know.
kinda-
I don't know why
Put
it's
your
a bad
damn
name.
hands up.
Maybe it was a
Put your
midnight
damn
race.
hands
Maybe
up.
it was the.
Man, my arms are, I've been in the gym.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Did that just happen? Billy,
No definition.
you know what to do, Billy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I need more definition for how much
It's
I
like
lift.
two legs coming out of a shoulder.
That's what I'm saying. They're like heavy. I'm like,
Look like just two thighs coming out.
that's what I'm saying. Two ham hocks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's Thanksgiving dinner in this
Man.
bitch.
For all the people that are just listening to audio right now, good on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're way better.
I'm gonna have
Way
Billy
better
cut
off.
that part.
They didn't get a preview of the calendar.
I'm gonna have Billy cut that part. Anyway, all right. So here we go. All right, let's go with MotorCoach. MotorCoach was a purchase. Braden, what do you think that Drew bought it for?
I'm gonna say 12.5.
12.5. All right, on me, I don't know. So in the interest of disclosure, I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 20. I like the name a lot. So I'm gonna go 15. That's where I'm at. It's 15K is what I'm saying.
And I'm going to go lower just because I don't think the word motor coach in this country is used as much as it used to be. I'll say 8.5. That's mine.
All right. I'm gonna disqualify this one because there's some sketchy behavior going on here. But it was the answer was 15.
15.
So I paid 15. But
He
I
looked
have
it
a
up.
suspicion that Braden knows and JT knows, and so I'm disqualifying this.
No,
Well,
what are you talking
okay,
about? I
so-
legit didn't know. I
How
didn't
do
know.
I-
So it was brought to me and started at 25 and then dropped to 15, and I passed at 15. I figured you did not pay 15 either, but apparently you did. So
Yeah, I
let's
tried
go
to
on
get
to
lower
humble.org.
And I had
I
none of
actually
this
like it.
information, and so I win.
No.
I
Hey,
actually-
whoa. I did not know what we paid for this domain. Like that was, I guessed it because I guessed
But
correctly.
did you know the opening?
I think
did you know the
subconsciously you
information
knew,
Braden?
'cause I
All I can
forwarded
say
to you
is that I
yesterday.
was leaning more on the 20K side until Braden came in at 10 or what was his guess at
Okay.
12.5.
12.5.
So I did play off of Braden a little bit.
All right. Just
But-
to eliminate all doubt,
Yeah.
we're going to go humble.org as a sale.
Okay. Oh, my arms.
All right, go ahead, Braden.
15. I'm going 15.
No, I think that, this name, I know what we sold it for, so I really can't say. So I'm disqualified.
Oh my!
You see, he wasn't going to say anything.
No, I was. You know what it is?
Wait into
I'm,
it.
this
At
is
what
where
point did you develop the
Did you
conscience?
actually go through the account?
No, I'm pretty sure you told me what we sold it for. I don't know. I'm not 100%
maybe.
sure. I'm not 100% sure. That's why I was like, and then I'm like, you know what? Just so that it doesn't come off like so you all think like, I got an angle or whatever. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm pretty sure I know what we sold it for. I may not be right. I actually might be wrong, but I'm going to let Shane guess and then let's see what's up.
I love the name and I love .orgs. So I'm going to think it's high. I'm going to go 25.8. 25. No, I'll just say 25 grand since I'm.
Yeah, so Shane will get the point. It was more than that, but I actually would not. I didn't want to be wrong because I also didn't want you to be like, you weren't paying attention when we talked about this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be like, go ahead, Drew. You could tell him.
So what were you going to say?
So when we talked about in my head, it's either 45, but you may have sold it for at 70. That's what I'm trying to like. I'm trying to remember. When we discussed it and what.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get that. Yo, you weren't paying attention when we were talking. That's what you got. You didn't get no point.
He was in the mirror like, Drew,
Yeah.
do you think I need to do
You're
more
too busy
reps
measuring your
or
biceps.
heavier weight? Is it heavier weight or more reps? What's the deal?
What's
Drew?
the? So,
All right. So, Braden wins. So
okay.
basically, here's the story. So
I thought we sold it. Yeah.
So all right. So here's what happened. and you can think about me what you want. I sold it for 20. Okay.
You think this is going to change it?
Listen.
Okay. See, so I didn't know. See, I could have guessed and been wrong.
Listen to the story. Sold it for 20. The guy said, okay, I need a couple weeks to, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not a patient person. So I said, well, I was literally, no, I wrote back to him. I said, so what are you going to use humble.org for? And he wrote me back a very long and thoughtful email. And he was going to use it as he was a cancer survivor. And he was going to use it to he's going to launch this whole cancer patient advocate thing. And it was a very long, detailed email with, all kinds of links. And it was a very heartwarming story. And so I was literally in the process of replying to that email, telling him that I was going to accept his original offer, which was like 10 grand. And because, he was using it for a really good purpose and I wanted to be nice. As I'm writing that email, he writes back and says, look, I'll do the deal, just give me some time, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, listen, I really appreciate what you're doing. So I said, I'll give it to you for $17,500. So I cut $2,500 off. And I said, from the $17,500, I'm going to take $2,500. I'm going to donate it to your 501(c) that you're setting up. And so my net will be 15, but I sold it for $17,500 minus the $2,500 I'm going to give to the guy. But really nice guy doing good work. So
it's a crypto site though now. I don't know if you know that.
See, so I was not paid. It must have been a different name that we were talking about. Keep in mind, I was in Texas last week, so we weren't fully dialed in on what was going on in general. But I thought we talked about it, and I thought you sold it for more. But all right, well, I don't know. Somehow I feel like I got screwed out of my point there. But
I actually did have that thought, but I want to believe he's a good person. But
Billy,
if this does pop
nice
up,
guy under Drew and doesn't listen under.
Oh yeah, well,
nice guy comes with a price. If this guy shows up, there's some crypto website on here. I will find him, and I will literally
I'm a high school student, cancer survivor.
Okay. Hey. We're
just
good.
kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I mean that as a
Yeah, metaphorically.
A play on words.
All right. So I don't know what's going on points wise. I think I've got 2. Shane's got or Braden's got a point.
No, Braden got 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to win because Braden's got the last name of the bunch. But let's go ahead because we got to get into the Sherpa segment here.
What do you mean you're going to win? You didn't win that one.
I got MotorCoach, man. I hit MotorCoach and I got the ENS.
No. We got rid of MotorCoach and replaced it with
MotorCoach got nixed. Yeah, MotorCoach got nixed.
MotorCoach only got nixed because Braden knew it and still got it wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I paid for this microphone.
Somehow I'm getting penalized for knocking it out the park. Braden cheats, loses, and somehow I get penalized. Come on, man. This is so messed
I'm a room of cheaters in anyway. Yeah. I'm a real loser.
If I can't win, nobody's gonna win. All right, so Braden, what do you got?
I'm just trying to be the nice guy.
And hey, credit to you for doing that deal that way. I mean, I think that's something that gets lost sometimes. Drew, doesn't miss too many opportunities to tell people about the wins, but I think when you do something nice, that's a win as well. So credit to you for that, dude. See, that's a side people don't get to see. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we all know it. We know that he's one of the best huggers in the group, but nobody else knows that.
Well, I'll tell you about Drew though, real fast, and this is some real shit because I had a bit of a heart-to-heart with Braden when we were in Austin. A couple of drinks. I mean, he wasn't drinking, but I was. So I'm just like, Braden, man, I got so much love for you, bro, and all this kind of stuff, And he's like, what? Who are you again?
The new phone. Who dis?
But Drew is
a counselor.
But for what it's worth, I think people should know because Drew takes a lot of shit. But there are very few people that I know in the world that are as authentic and as loyal and as fucking real as Drew. So I just want to say, since I'm on this tip of if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, that won't have gone unsaid. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. That is. I will second that, and I'll add that all this tough guy bullshit is just that. It's just you're just fronting. You're just a nice guy, and I don't know why you do all that other shit, but You're a good dude.
You know what it is? I'm jaded, man. It's just the world is full of a lot of stupid and bad people. There's a lot of good people that are lost in there. But look, when you're as a domain broker, as I've been for the last 15 plus years, all I do all day is dealing with people. And in my experience, the vast majority of people are either unfriendly, at least in their dealings as it pertains to domain names, are either unfriendly or incompetent. And it is really like a 1 in 100 type of thing where you get like a really kind, good person in there. And so,
but I work retail, so I get to see that jaded. As much as anybody.
Yeah, but you're selling flowers. That makes people happy.
Yeah, no, that's
you're literally selling flowers.
I'm just about to say I do have the opposite, but I can tell you where you're at is people are preoccupied. Like people just don't pay attention to anything. They go everything half-assed and then complain why it doesn't turn out like they think. That's just too much going on.
And everybody's going 100 miles an hour. We're all overtaxed with a lot of stuff. Everyone's got a lot on their minds. And but that definitely leads to some stuff. But all right, well, look, we got to.
But anyways, I sincerely appreciate all the kind words. Sincerely,
happy to do it. All right, Braden, what you got? A buy or a sell?
I got to sell.
Nice
at the conference. So it's a more interesting story. I had a couple sales, but let's go with Dropped, DROPPED, dropped.com.
Oh, wow.
All right. We got a new drop service coming?
Yep. Somebody upgrading?
We do have a new drop service coming.
All right.
Is it new or can you say, is it a new one or is it someone upgrading?
I'll tell you the whole story.
After. Right. Great.
Let's get into it.
It's coming at you.
So I think you sold it. So you usually sell pretty high. But I think if you sold it in person to somebody and this doesn't have any like percent equity type of thing that we've got to try to we can just, it's a number. This is cash deal.
All cash.
Was it after 1 or 2 kombuchas?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Braden doesn't drink, so they didn't get him, but they could have got him on the personal vibe. I'm gonna say 50K, 50,000. That's what I'm gonna say. Just because I think it's, that's kind of right in the wheelhouse for it. I think, normally I would think Braden would have sold it for more than something like that. But I think Braden was feeling the vibe of all the NamesCon love and decided to give it to him at a fair price.
I mean, so domainers.
Shane's technically next.
Domainer. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Well, that was the number I had in mind, but I was thinking it was going to be a Mr. Wonderful kind of deal. For every name you catch and sell, I get $5 or something. So,
that's why I asked if, because
to me, that would be the first thing I'd think of on something like that. Once you get back 75,000, then I still own 10% of the, the Mr. Wonderful thing. So, I would say, I'm going to say 75 grand. I think I was torn. Those were literally the two. Yeah. 70. I'll go 75 grand. There's a lot of money if you're
speaking of Mr. Wonderful. I'm not a huge fan, but doesn't only I think only 4% or something of the deals from Shark Tank actually close. 4% of the ones that are agreed upon, right? On the show. I think it's only 4%, maybe it's 10% or something that actually close.
It's a very low percentage that close, and even a lower percentage that close at the agreed upon.
Yeah.
They all, every single one gets renegotiated after. They just keep
and an even lower percentage that are agreed upon, close at the agreed upon price, and are actually successful.
Yeah.
Scrub Daddy. Scrub Daddy's good enough.
Go ahead. Squatty potty.
All right. So am I up? No,
yep.
Shane.
Yeah.
You didn't go
no,
yet.
I already went. I went 75 grand, so we got 50 and 75.
All right. I was going to say 75, so I'll go 100.
Wow.
The domainers are cheap, and I don't think it's less than 50 because why sell it? And I don't think it's more than 100 because domainers are cheap, and Dropped doesn't have a lot of applications other than domain drops. I don't know what else drops other than social
Well,
media handles, maybe.
or
You're
new
talking about
clothing.
sneakers and collectibles.
Sneakers,
and-
yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's true.
That's
yeah,
what they
yeah.
call
Okay.
anything
Yeah,
free
yeah,
shipping
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Drops,
Oh,
yeah.
do I change? I'm going to change
Ooh.
mine.
All right. Well, anyway, no, you're out. I'm on. Anyways, I got the over at 100 anyways. So
Yeah,
I'll take
I'm on.
100.
I'm low. All right, go ahead,
Yeah,
Brady.
and for that reason, Drew, I own dropday.com as well
Cool.
because
Yeah, but that was
also
an old
good name.
site.
That's cool.
Drop Day was a site. I used to use Drop Day, right? Yeah.
it wasn't my site. I
He
don't know.
doesn't know. He doesn't know.
What do you
Yeah, I
got?
used to-
What do you
Somebody
got,
said,
Brady?
"Do you want this domain at this price?" He said, "I'll pay you half of that." They
All
said,
right, so,
"Okay."
so what'd you sell it
Right.
for? What'd you sell it
All
for?
right. So I'm going to start with the story.
Oh, okay.
Should I start with the story? Should I
Yep.
tell you the number?
Billy, play a little bit of story music. Give him a little exposition music.
Okay, so I'm at NamesCon, and I see David Warmoose, right, founder of owner of Above.com.
Above,
Trillium.
Yeah,
And I walk up to him, give him a hug, and his T-shirt
another
says
solid dude. Just great. Guy.
salt of the earth. And
If he
people
didn't
realize,
live on the other side of the earth, he's a dude I would love to just really spend some time with. He's a
Yeah.
great human being.
yes,
By the way, I was
yes,
hanging out with him the one night, real quick. Not to, sorry, but this is what happens. You let everyone else talk, but he was talking about how
you can't. I
He
was
had
just supporting the fact that David's an amazing guy.
He's
You
a
wanna
really good
jump
guy.
in and intervene with it
he was
with a
telling the
story.
stories of how he
You
had
can't interrupt
opportunity.
the story with a story.
All right,
You
well,
can't do that.
all right, fine.
Jesus, wow, this is a tough crowd. So, yeah, he's been in this industry for forever, like 20 something years. I don't know.
25 years.
25 years. Oh, that's right. That's right. Above.com, they just celebrated the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
So, I walk up to his T-shirt says drop. That's it, just drop. I look at the back, it says drop. No website, nothing. And I go, drop, huh? And he goes, yeah, we're launching a drop catching service, but I've got drop.com.au and I can't launch on an AU, so we're looking for another brand that's a .com. And I said, oh, it's funny because I'm just selling drop.com to somebody. He goes, what? Drop.com? And I said, yeah. He says,
To you.
you sold it?
I did now.
He said, you sold it? I said, well, no, the guy put me off a little bit. We came to terms, but it hasn't closed yet, but it's like in my inbox and he's just waiting to get the green light. And he's like, well, how much? And I said, well, we negotiated down, but it's $65,000. And he said, can I buy for $65,000? I said, well, yeah, I'd rather sell it to you than him.
All right.
Why don't you move it up to 75,000?
So
Well, you
I
still
didn't-
won because I had 50, and I knew I was
so
like, I almost
didn't
said
squeeze him.
60. I almost
I
said
didn't-
60. Damn
I
it.
didn't do any, and it was literally, it was a 2-minute conversation because you guys weren't there. If you guys were there, you would have told like 9 stories in the middle.
It
But
would have taken a lot longer. The deal
it
may
would take
never
a
have
lot-
gotten done.
That name
But
would
it
have
was-
actually
how much did you pay
and
for it,
he
though?
picked up his phone and he said, I'm having 65 grand wired to you right now.
Yeah,
I didn't
perfect.
know you
Yeah.
that.
He wanted to close. And then everybody came up to me and was like, dude, I heard you sold drop.com to David. He's so excited about it. He's all happy about his deal.
Oh, he
So
probably would have
he's-
paid double that, to be honest.
Yeah,
What,
He was pretty pleased with the price.
What did you buy it for?
I bought it actually at the traffic auction. God, years ago. Let me look it up.
I remember when that was on the market.
Yeah, it's like 12,000 something, I think. But it was so long ago.
Hey, I think you bought the only name that was undervalued in the whole auction. Well, I don't remember what it was. What'd you buy? You bought something good.
Drop.com.
Are we
dog.
are we done with the story? So I think I want to say like 12.3 or 12.7 or something.
Okay.
But it was literally like 11 years ago. It was.
Yeah.
I've had it
Yeah.
forever, and I had immediately got some offers like 25,000, 30,000. Andy Reberry offered me 35, and at the time I wanted 50, and he didn't want to go to 50, so he went with dropcatch.com instead. I had a few offers, and then this guy that was going to buy it, they're like some Web3 company, so I don't even know what they're going to do with it exactly. But it is going to go to its go to its rightful home as a drop catch service. So Above is launching a drop catch service. Bottom line.
Cool.
What
that's
did I
great.
buy? I bought semester.com.
Oh yeah.
At the
That was
auction.
it's like 65.
45.
Yeah,
That was in the NamesCon
45.
auction.
I overlooked that one. Somehow I
Did it
overlooked
sell?
that. But that was a great deal.
Yeah, no, I bought
Yeah,
it
he
for
got it.
45. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
have an EDU portfolio and I missed one a couple of weeks ago, which I'm annoyed about. But I own Continue and Distance and Profess and Study Hall and with Josh.
You want extension.com?
That's for like extends, right?
Yeah.
Extension?
Yeah,
Not for the price that you want to sell it to me for.
Wait,
No.
hold on. So did it sell in the NamesCon auction, semester.com?
Well, are you not paying attention?
He just said he bought it.
Weren't you like running the red zone?
Oh, you bought it in this auction. I thought you bought it at the traffic
Yeah.
auction. That's what I thought Drew was talking about.
Both. I bought it at the traffic auction like 11 years ago for
Catch
about
up, Mustard.
$12,000.
Catch up.
And then I just resold it. So Monty's essentially gotten commission on this thing. No. I guess that he didn't. No, he didn't sell it this auction.
Monty's probably
I
sold
was-
like half the domains the industry owns
Twice.
like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought it at the traffic auction years
Oh.
ago, and then I just sold it to David at the conference.
You're talking about dropped.com.
Drop-
Is that store?
Drop.com. Yeah. And then,
Yes.
And then
semester.com.
was a purchase. Yeah.
Semester I purchased at the auction.
At the NamesCon
45.
auction just now.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank
So
you.
you're crossing the stories.
Crossing the streams. But Shane was confused for a second
Crossing
too.
first.
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't until you confused me.
Yeah.
Can we get Billy just to edit out the last 5 minutes?
Or edit out the last hour and 5 minutes. All right. All good. All right. So where does this put us? So now, since you guys robbed me of a point,
No,
Shane
Shane won.
has
That's
a
where
point.
it puts us at. It puts us at this funny place where Shane wins.
No, Shane has a point. I have a point, and Braden
Yeah.
has a point.
We all have
If
one
I,
point.
if I get the
Oh,
point
really?
for MotorCoach, I win,
Yeah.
and we can move on to the next segment.
You don't get
No.
MotorCoach.
You don't get that. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We got a bonus round. Ready?
Yeah,
I don't
you got.
think you know this one.
All right.
Pangolins.com.
What?
Where they try to fucking tell us, COVID-19 came from? The
Oh,
pangolin?
pangolins, like they're like an armadillo.
Yeah, like an armadillo.
Okay, we
Yeah,
bought it or sold it.
pangolins.
I thought
So
you
we
were
have to
bought
bought it. I don't.
and
That
saw
one's
the
not in our portfolio.
penguins.
So we bought it. We bought pangolins.
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah.
All right.
Pangolins.com.
All right, Braden.
Pangolins or not? Or,
They're like an
Yeah,
armadillo.
pangolins, man.
It's
It's
like
like, one of the most endangered species in the world. It's
They're
the
like
number
chickens
one-
in a tuxedo.
number one most trafficked animal on the planet.
Yeah, they're like a delicacy in China or something, and
Yeah, you cut
They
the
look
little
like-
pangolin
they look
testes
like-
off for like
they look
Chinese
like-
medicine or something.
yeah, it's like an armadillo. They look
They
like an
tried
armadillo.
to fucking convince us. The goddamn
It's like a
horrible
raccoon put
human
on one of those old
beings that run the
samurai
world.
outfits. You know what I'm
these
saying? Like
douchebags
samurai
try to tell
armor.
us, we got, this COVID-19 thing came because some people started eating pangolins. It's like, no, it
Pangolin
didn't.
stew, baby. All right,
Freaking
go ahead.
manufactured
What's
this
you
in
said?
Biolab,
Braden?
you
Braden, what's your
idiot.
number?
Terrible. I thought
Braden.
you said you wanted a penguin.
So we bought it. We bought it. All right, Braden, go ahead.
We bought pangolins.com.
You
Yes.
got to hustle.
What
You got
did we
another
pay?
call coming up, Braden. We literally got like 30 minutes left.
$5
maybe.
grand.
$5,000. I'm gonna say less. I don't want to say 4. I don't want to get too close. I'll say 3 G's. 3 G's.
I've never even heard of this stupid bird.
It's not a bird.
It's not a bird. It's like an armadillo. I think is it a
Told
mammal?
you I had never heard of it.
Is it a reptile? Is it cold blooded? Warm blooded?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I
think it's a mammal.
I like
$1,800. I don't even know anything about these penguins.
All right. What
Well,
was
if it's endangered, then you could go shoot it at Brace
All right.
Ranch.
So I paid $2,500.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Oh, let's go. All right.
I'm not ruling out funny business again.
Oh, you guys are
I
killing
guarantee
me.
he passed by the pangolins. He
I,
was
mean,
like,
I literally,
oh,
I'm like
what
up
do you
again. I'm nailing this stuff today, and you guys are like, that seems a little too much. Like he's too
Yeah.
good. He's too
I got
good.
I
You're gonna be
don't know,
testing.
I wrote it.
me soon. All right, cool. I got to take the victory. Let's keep it moving. Quick break, and then we're gonna come back with Name Jet Gonna Jet here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. JT wins again. Boom.
Media Options is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, Media Options offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. Media Options believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Domain Sherpa, all roads lead to domains. Shane's got the hype stuff going, celebrating my victory in the domain game. Gotta love it. Gotta love it when the good guys win. Am I right? Am I right? All right. So, all right. Yeah. So let's keep it moving. We covered a lot of ground so far. We don't have a ton of time left. But we've got a list of names up for auction on NameJet. Big shout out to our people at NameJet. Rundown as always, we've got the list on the site. You can go ahead and grab it. We've got the Excel sheet that has the appraised value, the Esteban appraisal, how many back orders as of the date that we air, how many days are as of the date we record, how many days left in the back order period as of the date we air. Reminder, these are all expiring domains, which means they're going to be private auctions, which means that you have to have a back order in before the end of the back order date in order to participate in the 3-day auction. If you don't have a back order in, you're going to miss the opportunity. So grab the list, see what's up. We've got the links, all that good stuff, and check it out. So we'll talk to the team to see what they like, what they don't like. There's about 18 names on the list, so you can talk about up to 6 names. On this one, I actually want to just immediately kind of call out. There are 3 names that are part of the same, I'm assuming the same registrant. They all expire on the same day. It's Riverfront, Oceanfront, and Lakefront.com. And they each have about 20 some days left. And I'd be probably surprised if they make it all the way to the end of auction, but I think they're interesting. I thought maybe you guys might even know who those are. Those are all pretty awesome names. But Shane, why don't you go ahead and jump right in? What do you like? What don't you like?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to love those names. I can't believe that they're expiring or make it all the way through. I mean, those are huge names. I mean, at least Oceanfront and Lakefront, just fantastic names. Those are tens of thousands, even at wholesale, if not more, on Oceanfront. So, I mean, I won't even talk more about that. Those are pretty obvious.
But interestingly, Riverfront has the higher appraisal value of the 3. I mean, that's about appraisals being what they are, right? I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's a data point. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all serve a purpose, especially as a guy from the Midwest. Lakefront homes sell for millions of dollars, and Riverfront everywhere. I mean, they're applicable everywhere. But as far as other than that, I think again some fantastic Digital Homes, a beautiful name, and then Better Results. I was looking to see all those the way it's not camel case. I was trying to see is there the right amount of R's and T's and. But it is Better Results. I was watching TV this morning, and I was really amazed how many like call to action names there were. Not the names of the companies, but like I think orderyourtests.com was a COVID test this morning, and just those kind of names I think they were just one after another. There were 3 in a row, and I was thinking people are getting smart about their naming as far as. And Better Results might be the name of the company, but that kind of exudes what you're going to get from that company as far as maybe test results or medical kind of thing. So I'll leave it at those. There's plenty of names to go around.
And Better Results, really like you said, I mean, test results are just like, I mean, it could be SEO, marketing. I mean, really anything that provides a service. It's like you're going to get better results from us then. And I agree with you. I think the companies, as they understand naming and marketing, and we talk about this a lot, and not just on these shows, but we've got the Off the Market Forever show where we really focus on domains from the lens of the end users. And I mean, gotta love a name like that like. It's kind of goes beyond just a brand, but also like kind of hits on like a sort of a theme that's just and positive and sort of very action focused. I like it.
Super great name. All right,
Drew, you laughing at me just talking like just hyping it up?
Yeah, you're just talking some smack. Bunch of gibberish.
It was a lot. I was trying to get myself out of it after a while.
All right, who's up? Braden?
No, you're up. You're up. We go in the order. All
right. All right, I'm gonna go. My number one favorite name is bok choy. Well, it's not true. I mean, the riverfront, oceanfront, these are just bomb ass names. So whoever wins them, you did well. If you overpay, you're gonna have to wait a while. But like, these are just great names. I mean, those are just iconic names. You never, So not a lot to be said there. Great names. I think beyond those, I really like bok choy. It's my favorite vegetable.
What is bok choy?
Bok choy is a leafy green, got white stems.
I've eaten it, but I didn't know exactly
it's the main food of the pangolin.
The pangolin's diet is primarily bok choy.
It probably is in the cabbage family, if I had to guess.
Yeah, you would know it if you saw it.
Oh, I've eaten it. Well, the other night at dinner, Braden got, because Braden's on that vegetarian stuff, so we were actually got that
vegan. Get with it.
He's vegan. He's veganarian and vegetarian, and he's getting all them vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, it's like if it's not in the potato chip or the chicken wing family,
they make your brain work. The vegetables, they make your brain.
I take my green vitamin every day, man. You know what I'm saying? I get all that.
Not the same.
Get all that stuff.
Look at this. This was a big old glass of bok choy, kale.
Silicon. I eat the athletic greens.
I'm just gonna move on there. So at the sushi restaurant, I had bok choy. That's right. That was that last dish. It actually wasn't very good.
Yeah, you didn't like it. You were like,
It's hard to mess up bok choy. I mean, like,
good name that dish.
Because they didn't use any soy sauce. They steamed it and then they put other stuff on top. Yeah,
because they said,
bok choy by itself doesn't taste that great.
They basically were like, we're gonna let the other guys eat the good
food. Bok choy is bitter, but
yeah,
it absorbs. Like all you got to do is put a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of vinegar, and it's like boom, amazing.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Or a little miso, or like a little, basically put anything. Right? Just put something on it. It tastes good.
Yeah. It was a weird dish. Okay.
I like bok choy. This is a .net. I'll just throw this out there because probably nobody else will talk about like customhomes.net. That's a big dollar keyword. These custom home builders. Well, people, that's literally like if there's like, spec home builders that like, developers, and then there's custom home builders. And these guys, like, that's a big dollar business. And so I think customhomes.net is a good domain. Somebody out there will pay you $15, $25, maybe more for that. Good search volume. Maybe it's got a little bit of traffic, good CPCs. I like that name. I would love for somebody to tell me what in the hell is Powhatan, because it seems to have search volume.
It's a geo in Virginia.
Powhatan. That's like the Manhattan that never made it.
Well, and it's also an Indian tribe, right? So it's an Indian tribe. It's a location.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
It's a location.
So now I'm going to be canceled.
Well, you've been canceled for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You're not now. You can't get uncanceled any sooner now. So you're back to back. How many? It's like how many days since a cancellation event has happened? I'm saying now we got to put it back to zero.
Look, they got a distillery in Powhatan. They got the Three Crosses Distilling Company.
Yeah, well, and and it's a geo, like you said, and then it's there's a.
All right.
That's what that is.
Powhatan, Virginia. All right. So I take it back. Powhatan.com. I like that name.
Yeah. So, and
that's it. Over to you, Braden.
And interestingly, the Powhatan Indian lands encompassed all of the Tidewater, Virginia area. So that's like that whole Potomac, blah, blah, blah. That's why that town is named what it is. And, so that's the whole joint. That's what it is.
I want to like my cup of tea, but
it's just not your cup of tea.
Just ain't my cup of tea.
Let's go.
I'm here on the tea for you.
I'm here all week. Tip your bartenders. Appreciate y'all. All right, Braden.
All right, so I agree with most everything that's been said. Better results, bok choy, custom homes. I like all those. Downtown hotels. I also like that too, because every place has a downtown. They all have hotels. So that is a good.
And what are you going to do with it? You're going to make a directory? Like that business is dead.
Is it?
What if your hotel brand? What if your hotel brand was?
Well, that's the point. You can't compete with those guys.
What do you mean?
You used to
think-
be able to compete on SEO with those guys, and now forget about it. Page
No.
one is
But I'm
gone.
saying, what if there was a hotel, like if Marriott came out with like a downtown brand of hotels, right? Downtown hotels,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Something like that, which, maybe more of an urban chic kind of like thing, the way they have like signature, some of that
Yeah, it's
stuff.
almost as stupid as the brand of the hotel where the ICA is going to host their thing. What was that shit called? I never heard about it till the newsletter today. It was called like Resort World.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Resorts World. Now it's a plural. Resorts World. Like that might be the worst
because there's
brand
multiple
name I've ever heard.
I know it's a Hilton property. I mean, it's huge. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
It's a
I
Hilton,
stayed
just
there.
like downtown
It's-
hotels is a Marriott
It's
property.
multiple hotels. It's a giant multi-billion dollar. I can't remember this, like $5 billion or some crazy number. That
It should have been called, Bradenton Beach. That would have been way better than Resorts World.
Bradenton
Yeah.
Beach.
Oh,
Yeah, Bradenton Beach is out by Tampa, man. That's the, what I'm saying?
Bradenton. Is that in Washington? It's right next to Washington.
all right. So should I keep going?
I don't
Yes.
know at this point.
I think precautions. It's not worthless.
It's worth less. Yeah,
Precautions.
so
It's just worthless.
It's
It's a
it's an interesting for the right price. I think that's an interesting name. To take precautions.
who does something?
know.
What do you do with that though? Because this is one of those where I put it in
OSHA
the bucket
site,
of not
OSHA
all
stuff.
one word generics are created equal. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
like
look
that
at
it's
this.
plural.
Rockhounds.com. I was like, what the hell is a rockhound? But there
Dog.
is a
Hey,
baseball team called
Yo,
Rockhounds.
hey,
you're done. It's not your turn anymore.
exactly. Like, don't steal, Braden
thought we were all
Politan's
done.
thunder. He's
I
the
thought we were all
Archduke
done.
of Calabasas, son. Let him speak.
Even though I don't live in Calabasas.
Braden Politan.
Okay. All right. I'm done. I can't compete.
All right. I want to just make a comment more generally.
You?
One
Really?
of the things that I have, well, I like to give back. So one of the things,
Oh my God.
one of
Sure.
the things that I truly, truly, truly appreciate about the domain game is going through lists of domains as we are doing right here, as we clearly, none of us did any homework. When you come across something like a Powhatan or a rockhounds.com, right? And you're like, what in the hell is that? Why is there 11 back orders? Why does 17 people want to buy that domain? Go and Google it. Because even if you shouldn't buy the domain, which I'm not telling anybody they should buy rockhounds.com or powhatan.com, unless you happen to live in the area and have sentimental value, but you will learn. And I can tell you that firsthand, I have made a tremendous amount of money in other spheres of investing and just opportunities purely because of some random Google search I made because of some domain name that I saw on a list that didn't make any sense to me. And so I think that because, as we say, all roads lead to domain names, from domain names, you can extend out into all these other areas. And it's like reading a book and learning new things. When you're researching a list, use that as an opportunity to learn new things by finding weird domain names and then go Google it and find out what it is. And you'll learn all kinds of fun new things. That's it.
Like
That's
we
I
all
wanna say.
recently learned the definition of agentive, for example.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, that's precisely correct.
Yeah. So Powhatan. I'm trying to figure out how to properly pronounce it. That's where I'm at right
It's
now.
Powhatan, man. You got Manhattan and Powhatan. How confused? How confused are you?
Pow.
Powhatan. I
I'm
think
just-
we should expropriate the name and rename Manhattan as Powhatan because that shit's hot. Powhatan.
Yo, that's the middle of Manhattan, like just south of Central Park is Powhatan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like
Powhatan.
it's
So
no
Hatton
longer
and
like
Powhatan.
Midtown, or it's no longer the
Yeah,
It's
rename
not
the Times
Tribeca
Square
anymore.
area.
It's Powhatan.
Yeah, but
Forget
Rockhounds,
about Spanish Harlem. It's now Powhatan.
Powhatan.
I've got like 10 minutes, guys.
All right, well, let's talk. So go ahead, talk about some names. What else you like on the list? What don't you like?
No, we're done with the list.
No,
We-
he
we-
was
we-
he was still talking when you went off on your rant about like knowledge is power, and the more you know, the further you go. You know what I'm saying? Like we get it,
No,
man. You know what I'm saying? G.I. Joe.
basically
Knowing is half the battle. You know what I'm saying?
almost everything has been discussed except people up. Not that good. Scoush. It's Scoush, by the way, not Scouse.
Gosh,
Drew, I'm telling you that.
Scouser. You're a Scouser.
See, I learned. Third thing I learned today.
Private classes. I don't love it. It's okay. It's not great. It's a long hold. Tumbleweeds. If that was singular, that'd be bomb. But plural doesn't. Not feeling it.
Okay.
So that's it.
There's a possibility I own the singular.
I feel like you were going to say something about Rockhounds, though. I feel like somebody was about to say. And first, so Rockhounds, there's a minor league baseball team that are the Rockhounds. But being a Rockhound, I believe, is also somebody that, is into rocks and like does that whole
I believe that's called a geologist.
Yeah, but they don't. Everyone doesn't say like when you're like, oh, what's your hobby? People are like, oh, what's your hobby? Oh, I'm a geologist. No, you're not. You're not like a fucking accredited, scientist. I'm a rock hound. I like to dig into rocks and stuff on the weekends.
That's someone that likes rock and roll.
No,
they like to rock.
Hold on,
no.
rock hound. I'm googling this right now.
Isn't that like a groupie?
What does a rock hound do? Oh no, there's a construction vehicle called a rock hound. What is
That's an X-rated site.
Here we go. What is a rock hound? What's the term rock? Well played. What does the term rock hound mean? A specialist in geology, an amateur rock and mineral collector. So if you're not a professional geologist, but you're into rocks and gems, then, you would say I'm a rock hound. I guarantee you that's like, it's a cooler way of saying that you're into rocks and minerals. You know what I'm saying?
It's a close cousin of a rock head.
So, but I'm just saying that's what, and then there's the skidster rock hound, which is like a, sort of like the front end of a, you can throw on a
nobody
skidster
cares.
Bobcat.
Move on.
Yeah.
All right, fine. But there's going to be a lot of rock hounds that are going to be pretty fired up that you're going to say nobody cares.
No, you don't want to mess with the rock hound community.
Nobody that watches this show cares.
They throw rocks.
They don't throw stones.
You're all in your glass houses. Watch out for the rock hounds. You feel me? All right. Well, look, that's it. So we went through the list. We went through the name jet list. We talked about what we liked. You mentioned some things that you're just kind of on. Like we say all the time, each domain has a value, at which point it really isn't worth it, especially at a wholesale level. And it's not that your domain is worthless.
It's just worth less.
It's just worth less. All right. So we've got about 5 minutes and then we're out. Braden, let's kick it with you. Do you have anything else that we haven't covered? I mean, this is segment 4, grand closing. Usually by now we're kind of rushing out the door because we've kind of spent so much time bullshitting about everything else. You have anything that we haven't talked about that you feel like putting out on everybody's radar?
Just I'm so glad to have gone to the show and not caught COVID, by the way. But a bunch of people
did. A lot of people get it? Oh.
Yeah,
really?
I'm hearing it. Yeah, I'm hearing that people got it, but I didn't. I just tested last night just to be sure.
Nice. I came home feeling a little congested. COVID tested. I was fine. Shook that pretty quickly. I think that was just more of the travel and late nights and things like that. Yeah. But I had gotten COVID when I came back from Ape Fest. So, especially with the strain that's out and about and, not a lot of masking and things. And so, so I would have been surprised had I gotten it. So sorry for the folks that are, rest up, get your liquids, you know what I mean? But,
but the only thing that hasn't been mentioned is Paige Howe announced that he's doing another domain show.
Oh,
the domain show. January 11th through 14th. Just announced that. So,
is it going to be live or is it online?
Online.
Okay. Well, then that's also worth noting. Maybe we got to put up a domain industry calendar or something up on DomainSherpa so people can see some of these. As the IC, you got the IC, you got the
we got so many events going on, you can't keep track.
all of a sudden, our dance card's full. It's awesome. We back, baby. All right, Shane, what about you, man? You got stuff to talk about. You got hot honey, the Coda, the drippy honey. Talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm sorry I missed NamesCon, but my wife is switching companies after 17 years. So she has 10 days off between jobs, and we just decided to get away and go to the cabin in North Carolina. So I couldn't take 2.5 weeks off.
Could have come to Austin. Out. You could have celebrated.
Yeah, I could have taken her for the celebration. Yeah, that's what she'd love to do, is go with me to a domain conference. Everybody there is great with women. Yeah. Hey, is that a girl over there?
It's all dudes, even the hairy.
But so I really missed it. But I do feel like technology keeps me up, and so a lot of people I get to talk to pretty regular. But yeah, so I did I took my license, I guess you say, the Coda from the Ape, and made this hot honey. And it's, I love doing stuff like that. Like creating. I obviously don't like packing a million boxes. I forget the end result of it. But it was pretty fun taking Reaper peppers and figuring out the mix that doesn't overpower things. So I like started with 2 peppers, got it up to 20 peppers. Anyway, so I built that and sold that out. And because
anybody lose an eye in the process?
Man, I got the heartburn. Because I was taste testing so much, I got heartburn. I took like vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and Tums and baking. I couldn't get rid of it. It hurt like I've never had before from eating too hot of honey. But I got it down now, so it's not so bad. But yeah, so I've been having a little fun with that, and I licensed my ape to a couple more people, talking to a beer company to get it on a Colonel Whitenford Heifer Whiten beer. So we're talking to that. I've been talking to a couple other companies on marketing.
Yeah.
Talk
to that local brewery. You know, the ones we sold
did.
domain
So
to.
I have an email from her it's great. We talk about it all the time when I go see her, but she said she doesn't do gimmicks. And I just laugh about it because she doesn't realize how she would crush it with, I mean, she'd sell a lot just because of the ape. But, not everybody understands what we understand, and not everybody is into that kind of things. But so I'm just having some fun with that. The nursery had the best August ever, which is crazy, but we've had really good weather in the Midwest. It was just perfect. While you fringe end, like California's just getting crushed. We got better weather in August than California did. So
I'll tell you what, I got a prediction. I think that whole gardening sector is just literally over COVID was like just the beginning of it. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, shit was hot for, everybody was home and locked up. No. Listen, people are literally, I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of like vegetable garden stuff going on, but it was like, what was it called during the war? It was like Freedom Gardens or something.
Right now it's houseplants. Like houseplants are crazy hot. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, I'm super fortunate, but I do feel like, and not just
that whole space is going to just keep
people
going.
Love the relaxation of plants. Like it's something to do, something to collect. It just covers every angles of people. So even apartments. So yeah, I'm super fortunate to be able to do that for a living. I'm super fortunate to be doing it for 25 years. So I have lots of people to help me like live my dreams and have a good time. So I can do a business, I can do side hustles. I get to spend time on a Tuesday hanging with you guys. So yeah, I'm super fortunate and happy to be able to do all these crazy things. But I do work hard. Like I get up and do it. Like I don't mess around. Like,
so I've already, so I got to tell Braden, in person how much I appreciate him and, Shane. And I think had said this maybe to your face, but I've said this to other people, like, you got all these employees. I know you got to navigate that. Sometimes that can be challenging, but you lead by example and walk the walk more than anybody. So it's like the amount of effort, and I remember the first time we ever like talked, I think we were interviewing you on the Domain Masters podcast. This was back when Scott and I had taken that on, and we did that when I'd started running NameJet, and it was that whole thing about like outsmarting the dumb and outworking the smart, you know what I mean? And, there's probably a joke in there about then that's why you got to work so hard, because
exactly.
But, but you
There's
do it.
Definitely
man.
a joke in there.
But you do it, man. You do it. And so all good.
That's where the uncomfortable came from. Like you realize that the only way to get better is to get uncomfortable, to hurt a little bit, whether it's running or business or somebody's going to get mad at you. Something's going to break. Yeah. Something's going to go wrong. That's just how it goes. You can make it all perfect and sit in your little cocoon. That's probably why Drew and I get pissed off at people behind computers, because it's all comfortable behind that computer. You can type out anything you want. You can say anything you want. But then when you have to stand on the start line or stand face to face, things change a little bit. So,
and I think, and the positive. So yes, that's the one way where it's like, people can hide behind their computers and talk smack until, gun in your face, and that's all you can come up with. You know what I mean? It gets real different in person. And the positive of that is, and this is why something like NamesCon was great, because getting to see people in person, we had a couple of sort of deals and some things that were kind of hanging around. We got a couple of things sort of over the finish line that, it wouldn't have happened if we continued to do the Zoom and email dance, where it's like, and it's sometimes like, look, let's just cut the shit. And, when you're face to face with somebody and you can have a real conversation, you can get really real stuff accomplished. And, you lose some of that, and people definitely get a little bit, complacent and, feel pretty safe in their safe space behind their computer screen when, and like you said, getting uncomfortable, getting out of your comfort zone is important for growth. So it's all good. All right. And then Drew, on your end, man, anything that we haven't covered?
No, I'm
Last
just,
60 seconds.
I've been a little bit checked out for the last 2 months over the summer. I really took a step back and enjoyed the summer. Spent a lot of time with the family, and enjoyed that. But I'm very glad to be back in the saddle and about to kick this thing into gear.
Don't I know it? You know what I'm saying?
It's go time in the fall.
You sure
do.
Fall and winter.
Don't I know it? It's like, I'm back, baby. I'm back. Let's go. All good stuff. It's exciting. We'll see. This is, it's good time. So, all right. Well, look, guys, thank you so much for being here. This was a blast. Like, it felt like 5 minutes, and I'm sure the audience is going to feel a lot longer. Speaking about the audience, I want to thank all of y'all for being here. As I say on every single show, without you, there's no us.
There's no us.
Without you, there's no us. And we appreciate you all taking the time to kick it with us. I think the feedback that we got from a lot of people was very positive, overwhelming. It really was nice to see. This was another thing, getting so much feedback, and you realize like how big the audience actually is, right? We sit here kind of in our own bubbles and don't get a lot of feedback back all the time. We see the analytics and we know, hey, and we know it's growing, and that's great, and people are tuning in. But to hear people like, hey, listen, I catch every episode, I listen in the gym. This is great. Love what you're doing there. They recognize that we're putting in more effort. Big shout out to Billy, for the stuff that he's been doing, helping us to improve the the production value of the show. And, there's a lot that goes into this. Chris and James and the new show we're doing there, and Josh and everybody else. And, and that people appreciate that and they're tuning in. But then that also then for me, gives us a larger sense of responsibility about making sure that we continue to deliver for the audience. So anyway, but we're not hard to find. Hit us on Twitter, shoot us an email, whatever. Come find us in person at the next thing, and just let us know what's up. We're constantly trying to do doing good stuff here, and want to keep it moving. So anyway, with that, I want to thank everybody. Appreciate y'all. I'm getting the lights. I'm getting the Shane lights, which means it's time to go. And
somebody get him with a cane.
You don't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. All right, everybody, peace out. Thank y'all. We'll see you next time here on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Peace.